Most fitness advice was not written for your body. It was written for a 25-year-old with completely different hormones, a faster metabolism, and a lot more margin for error. When you take that advice and apply it to yourself after 40, it doesn't just underperform, it backfires. I lost 20 pounds in my mid-30s and I've kept it off well into my 40s. But before I figured out what works, I was doing literally every single thing I'm about to tell you to stop doing. I was constantly fighting an uphill battle with my weight. There are 7 pieces of advice that feel totally logical, but they are actively making fat loss harder for you after 40. I'm going to tell you exactly what to stop doing, what to do instead, and why it's going to work this time. Let's get into it. The first one is cardio. I am not anti-cardio. Walking, cycling, spin classes, getting your heart rate up, so important for your health. That's not the problem. The problem is when cardio is your entire strategy. When it's the thing that you're doing literally every single day to burn calories and lose weight. That may have worked in your 20s and maybe even somewhat in your 30s, but it doesn't work the same way now. And here's why. When steady state cardio is your primary workout, especially if you're in a calorie deficit, your body goes looking for fuel. And after 40, when your muscle is already under hormonal pressure, it goes after your muscle first. So you're essentially burning your own metabolism. But it gets worse. More cardio means more physical stress on your body, which means more cortisol, which is the hormone that tells your body to hold onto fat. So you're essentially working harder and getting less in return. To fix this, you need to make strength training your main strategy and let cardio be the supplement. 2 to 3 days of lifting is all you need, but actually lifting, not just lifting 5-pound dumbbells. And you can fill in cardio around it if you still want to. The same investment in workouts, you don't have to spend more time, but by switching to strength training, you get a completely different return on your time, your energy, and your efforts. So the cardio piece makes a lot of sense once you think about it that way. But this next one, number 2, is trickier because on the surface, it sounds like basic math. And that is to eat less to lose weight. Calories in, calories out, right? We know this to be the fat loss equation. Except here's where it breaks down for us. Think about your metabolism like a salary. Your maintenance calories, which are what your body needs just to function on a basic day-to-day, that's your weekly paycheck. A small calorie deficit to lose weight is your savings. That's smart, it's sustainable, it works. But what most women actually do is just cut a bunch of calories right off the bat. They think more is better. So they go from a full day of eating straight to barely eating anything. And your body's response to that is panic. It slows everything down to protect itself, including your metabolism, to match what you're giving it. So now you've got a smaller paycheck and you're still trying to save. The math isn't mathing. And after 40, we have less of a metabolic buffer than we did in our 20s. You cannot outsmart or out-restrict biology because biology is always going to win. So the solution isn't to eat less, but it's eating what's right for what our body needs. The most effective strategy is to anchor your day with enough protein to protect the muscle that you have. And then get used to doing that on a day-to-day basis before you cut any calories. 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is what's recommended for women our age. So let that be the foundation. And you have to be really intentional about that. Once that's locked in, then adjust your calorie deficit, but build the floor before you cut the ceiling. So eat enough protein, then adjust your calorie deficit in that order. So you've got the calorie piece. Now let's talk about the plan you're following because this one feels so harmless and it's where a lot of us get stuck. Number 3 is just eat clean, whole foods, nothing processed. What can go wrong with that, right? 2 things actually. First, most clean eating plans were designed for the general population. They don't account for women at our age, for what's happening in our bodies specifically right now, like the hormonal shifts and the changes in how our bodies process and store nutrients. So you're following again a plan that's built for someone else's biology. Second is clean eating is almost always all or nothing. You're either on a clean eating plan or you fell off and you're not. And the second life happens with like dinners out or stressful week at work or travel and vacation, then the whole thing falls apart and you're literally just starting over. And that's not realistic. So here's the better model. You have roughly 21 meals in a week if you eat 3 meals a day. What if 17 of them were solid? They're intentional, they're protein anchored, they are healthy, they're on plan, and 4 had built-in flexibility. So you eat 17 healthy meals on plan and 4 flexible meals. every week. That's an effective and intentional system. One that accounts for being an actual real human with a real life. And a system that you can sustain always will beat trying to be perfect anytime. Okay, this next one I know hits close to home for me personally, and I think for a lot of women who grew up in the 90s. Number 4 is the idea that you need to earn your food. That if you didn't work out, you should eat less, or that a bad food day has to be punished with a harder workout tomorrow. Here's why that doesn't work. Not just emotionally, but mathematically. A 400-calorie meal, which is a bowl of pasta or a burger or chips and a glass of wine, takes roughly 45 to 60 minutes of running to burn off. Not walking or not even with a spin class, but actual running. And then assuming that you will run, after that run, your body is hungrier, it's more tired, it's more likely to overeat at your next meal. So you don't come out ahead. You just literally end up in this never-ending and exhausting cycle. Trying to out-exercise your food is not a strategy. The numbers will literally never work in your favor. So here's what I suggest, and it sounds cheesy, but I promise you it's so effective. Move your body because it makes you stronger. Fuel your body because it deserves it and it needs food and nourishment. Your body will respond so much more effectively to you nurturing it. And on the days when your meals are not perfect, just remember that a C is always better than an F, and a C makes progress. Okay, number 5 is to watch the scale to measure progress. And the reason why this one's on the list is because this one quietly derails so many women who are actually doing so many things right and on a healthy path to weight loss. The scale is, of course, one data point, but it's arguably the noisiest and most misleading one that you have access to. It fluctuates with water, with sodium intake, with hormones, with where you are in your cycle, with whether or not you've been to the bathroom yet. It can literally swing 3 to 5 pounds in a single day and have absolutely nothing to do with fat. And here's the problem even further. When that's the only number you're watching, the number on the scale not matching our efforts or not matching what we want to see or think we should see can feel like a failure despite you actually making progress. And for women over 40 who are building muscle while losing fat simultaneously, the number on the scale can actually go up as your body composition improves and you gain more muscle, even when you're losing fat. The scale will lie to you repeatedly. So instead of relying on the scale, track these things instead. They are so important. How are your clothes fitting? Are you feeling stronger and lifting more than 4 weeks ago? How's your energy? How's your mood? How's your sleep? How do you feel walking up a flight of stairs? These are not soft metrics. They're real data that tells you far more about your body transformation than a number on the scale ever could. So my recommendation is get that scale out of here. Swap it as your primary measure for 30 days. It will help you stop chasing a number and actually allow you to focus on building a body that you're proud of. Okay, and here's where body transformation either happens or doesn't happen for so many women. Number 6 is just move your body. That something is better than nothing. And broadly, yes, movement is great for us. But for women over 40 who are trying to change their body composition, just move your body becomes permission for randomness. A spin class on Monday, a walk on Tuesday, a yoga class on Wednesday, an ab workout on Thursday. Like all of this is movement and great, but it has zero strategy. Random doesn't build anything. It keeps you busy and it might burn some calories on a good day or a good week, but it never creates the progressive overload that your muscles need to grow and strengthen and change your body composition, which after 40 is the whole game. Think about it this way. If you showed up to work every day and just did whatever felt right, like answer some emails and organize a little bit and maybe some data entry, you might feel productive at the end of the day, but nothing would ever get accomplished. Your body works the same way. Intentional training means you have a plan. You know which days you're lifting, which muscle groups you're working, and you're tracking whether you're progressing, whether that be more weight or more reps or better form, week over week. That's the difference between moving your body and actually transforming it. Okay, last one, and this one is my favorite. Number 7 is consistency is key. That's genuinely actually true. But here's the part that nobody finishes that sentence with. Consistency in the wrong things is still wrong. It's just a faster route to the wrong destination. If you've been consistently doing hours of cardio a week, consistently eating at a big deficit, consistently sleeping less than 7 hours a night, and consistently not seeing results, well, you've been incredibly consistent and it hasn't helped. Consistency only works when it's pointed at the right behaviors. And that's what everything we've covered today comes down to. If you're going to show up, and if you're watching this video, I know you probably will, then you deserve to be showing up for the right things. Consistent daily protein, consistent strength training, consistent 17 healthy meals on plan, and 4 flexible meals every week. Consistent metrics besides the scale that track your progress. That's the consistency that compounds. The goal is not to try harder, it's to try smarter. And now you know the difference. Okay, let's recap the 7 tips, 7 swaps fast. 1, stop chronic cardio as your strategy and start lifting. Use cardio as a supplement. 2, stop slashing calories. Anchor with protein first, get used to that, and then adjust your deficit. 3, stop following generic nutrition plans. Build your week around 17 on-plan healthy meals and 4 flexible meals. 4, stop trying to out-exercise your food. The math will never work. Exercise to build strength, not to burn off a meal. 5, stop living by the scale. Track how you feel, track how your clothes fit, and how you're performing. 6, stop random movement. Start intentionally training with a plan that you can progress. And 7, stop being inconsistent, doing the wrong things. Lock in the right behaviors, and that is what compounds and will make a massive difference. If you're watching this thinking, okay, Andrea, I want to turn this into a real structure I can follow starting this week, what can I do? I made something exactly for that moment. It's a free quiz called What's My Metabolism Type? And it'll take everything that we just covered and make it personal to you. It tells you the state of your metabolism right now, what's specifically keeping you from losing weight, and gives you customized next steps so that you don't just leave this episode with good information, but you leave with a plan that's actually yours. The link for the quiz is in the description below. Before you go, let me know in the comments which of these 7 hit the hardest. The cardio one, the scale, the earn your food one. I want to know which one landed for you. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friend, and I will see you next week.